What's up, everyone? We're back at it. Welcome to MBA Unplugged. My name is Charles Winfrey, alongside my co-host.
My name is Lei Wong, and today we really want to keep it pretty informal and just talk about some shared experiences about money management. Let's get started.
Yeah. So really what we wanted to accomplish with this one is, obviously Lim and I are both college students, and a lot of you all listening are college students as well. And we really just wanted to give you all our experiences we had throughout the summer. And we know they're very applicable and can translate to a lot of early experiences that you all may experience later on throughout your summer, or some that you've already experienced thus far. So really, the first part that Liam and I want to talk about is something that most of us get, if not we do, our parents get it, is our refund check. So Liam, I kind of want to throw out the question, kind of where we want to start is, how did you handle your refund check? And then I'll add my 2 cents as well, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm completely transparent. The first time I actually started saving my refund check was probably this past semester. I've probably blown it almost every single time I've received it, and it wasn't a small amount. So I paid $3,000 to $4,000. And so what I've really started to do is build healthier habits and actually get to the nitty gritty on how I'm going to be saving it. So for me personally, I get percentages and specific percentages of what I want to save, invest, and actually spend, and be very realistic about my goals. I know I eat a fair amount. And so if I'm ordering Uber Eats, exactly. If I'm ordering Uber Eats, I'm going to be pretty realistic. 150 to 200 a week. If that's the thing, that's going to be my budget. I'm not going to say I'm only spending $50 and then overspend.
That's real. So I don't actually get my refund check. My refund check goes to my parents. But through the excess cash that I get from different programs and external scholarships, typically I kind of do the same thing with what you did. Now, I'm gonna be real. It's not, I have a tracker in Excel and I have 10% a week for food and 5% for entertainment and fun. It's kind of just as I go along and what fits my lifestyle. But I would say let's take a step back here. During my summer internship, I worked at a firm this summer, made a very fair hourly wage, but throughout the whole summer, I got to save 70% of everything I made. So I saved 70%. I lived off of the rest. My rent was in downtown Boston, I believe my rent was around $2,300 a month. I paid $85 per night. So if you add that up along the whole summer, it came out to X amount. Saved 70% of my check, and then the rest, I kind of got to spend with it.
Yeah.
70%, I maxed out my Roth. If you don't know this, you can put $7,500 to max out your Roth IRA every year. So I maxed out my Roth first, and then the rest I put into an investment account. I index my funds away. I do a little stock picking because that's something I want to do in the future. But that's kind of what I did. Since I don't get a refund check, I want to tie it to my summer experience. Mm-hmm. But Liam, I'm curious how you did your summer as well.
I did not do that. Okay, I did not do all that. No, I had some bills outstanding to pay. I had an emergency hospital visit. Insurance barely covered it, so I had to pay off $2,000-$3,000 out of pocket. And then I had a credit card bill that was outstanding, and it just accrued a little bit of interest as well. And so my rent was $2.25 a month, plus a roommate in Midtown Manhattan. And during that internship experience, the only time I really started to break even, actually get money into my savings account, was the last couple of weeks. And I made a fair amount, to be honest. But what I learned from that is that, one, pay your credit cards on time. That was my first real experience with the credit card. And so that was pretty difficult. Yeah. But ever since then, I have a really good score. I think I have 750. And I've just been paying on time. That's all I do. But since then, I've just been trying to save, and investing is something I'm trying to get more into, the 8% return. It's just guaranteed.
All right, let's talk about it, because this was something I was curious of. You said you paid $2.25 a month.
That's right.
You paid the month of June, July. Did you pay the month of August?
I did.
Wow.
For 1.25.
Okay, so it wasn't the full month. It was half.
Yeah.
But you only occupied it for a week?
Yeah, a week or two.
Wow.
If that.
Okay. So in total in rent, you paid, what's that, $625?
Yeah.
How much of that you made, if you're okay sharing, what percentage of what you paid in rent was how much you made throughout the whole summer, if you can put numbers to it?
Yeah, no, of course. So that's probably around 50%, maybe 40%.
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
Okay.
Because if my math is right, I made around 1.7 a week, not including overtime.
Okay.
Overtime was 1.5. And then I had 10-week internship. So you can do the math there. But yeah, rent was pretty pricey. And then food was covered, thank God. But I liked going out and I liked doing other things. So
that's real.
That's
living life. No, that's what's up. Yeah, I think I was very similar. So I was in Boston. He was in New York. Two different two different things. I paid nightly. I stayed at a campus, a university where students obviously occupy. So I paid $85 per night. You can add them up amongst June, July, and then first couple of weeks of August. And it came out to X percentage as well. So, I mean, that kind of establishes the refund check. But now I want to get into the part that you said about savings. Now, I kind of gave you all a little bit. I said I maxed out my Roth for this year, calendar year. I'm curious. You said you started to save. Where is that? Break that down for me. What is that saving? Is that like
real quick? You want to explain to viewers what is a Roth?
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Great segment. So like a Roth IRA is simply a savings account that you can max out. I believe it's $7,500 up into a certain age, and then it's $7,000 up into a certain age. But essentially, it's an account that you can invest in. So whenever you pull it out, the age is 55. Fact check me there. It's either 55 or 60. It's tax free. Versus if you just put in a normal savings account, that's not a Roth IRA, you have to pay taxes on the money that you made from the investments recurring over time. And so now don't get it twisted. You can take money out of your Roth before the age. It's a slight penalty. I don't know what that percentage is. I believe it's around 10%. So it's not like you can't touch the money at all. You still can. But I want to max that out because if you think of the most famous investors like Peter Thiel, for example, he co-founded PayPal with Elon Musk. He put all of his PayPal stock in a Roth IRA. That's when PayPal was so cheap compared to what it is now. And now he has billions of dollars tax-free. Wow. So that's the power of a Roth. That's what I did. So that's a brief, there's not a million. There's quite a few brokerages out there that have Roth IRAs. We can definitely leave some links in the description to help you all find different Roth IRAs. But yeah, that's a Roth. Again, back to kind of your point on where did you save your money from the summer? Yeah,
absolutely. So from what I was remaining, I really wanted to be very realistic about it. And so typically I probably put about 20 to 30% of whatever leftover paycheck I had into my savings because I knew that when I'm just getting to the habit of saving and I don't want to draw from my savings should be, building up instead of being drawn out whenever I need money. And so I actually had a fair bit of my checkings account opposed to my savings. But what that allowed me to do is that every time new income would come in, I could just add 20 to 30% of it. And I'm pretty realistic. I don't like adding like 50 or 60% at bulk because I know I'm going to be, drawing from it.
Yeah, that's real. So, okay. No, that's good. I like that. So like on here, we kind of have, so actually break down for me again. What kind of brokerage account did you open up? What platform was it on? Is this like a Webull? Is this a Robinhood? If you can add on to that a little bit.
Absolutely. So savings account, like just very basic, very low APY, but doesn't matter. Just in a place to have like a savings account is Capital One. I love it. I think it's like, I forget the percentage, but I just know that it was probably the best one out there. And then in terms of investments, Robinhood. I don't know what you use. What do you use?
So I actually invest I use Charles Schwab.
Okay.
I believe they merged with TD Ameritrade. I use Charles Schwab with the Roth IRA, which is where I max out. And then I'll have another account, which I feed in for whenever I max out my Roth. If there's anything else that I can put in, I use it through there. So for your investments, let's talk about that a little bit. Just touch a little bit, because we can make a whole podcast on investments. Do you just index your funds away, or do you put them in certain stocks? Do you go crypto? What does that look like?
Yeah, like super basic. I know Charles is a great bullish or bearish crypto guy. Bulls on the horse. That's right. So
crypto to the moon.
That's right. Yeah. So a little bit in Bitcoin, like very little, like less than 1,000, and S&P 500. I'm super simple. I don't have time to be picking specific index funds because I'm just not like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do you do?
So within the Roth, I do majority index funds as well. S&P. Since we're young, I feel like we can do a little NASDAQ as well, get a little more exposure to some risk because we have time to recoup those losses and volatility within more risky assets or index fund like the NASDAQ. But I do have a significant portion of my portfolio in Bitcoin as well. And I think, again, to the same point of risk, I'm 20, you're 19 or 20?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, so it's like we have so many more years before we'll really need this money. And if you truly believe in whatever asset class it may be, like Bitcoin, which I believe is sufficient, it's different if you're investing in like a meme coin or whatever it may be. But I feel like we can take on more risk now. But it all depends on your risk appetite and how comfortable you are with putting your money up into riskier assets like that.
Okay, this is great on paper. It was like, how do people who are watching this right now like actually do this? Because it's very different. Like they want to live the same lifestyle and be able to invest and save. And then there's also the fear of actually jumping into it. Like, what would you say to the people now?
So like actually open up an account,
like in everything. Like, how do you even do this?
Yeah. So I think to start point blank, if we just want to open up a savings account, you walk in decide what's the best bank for you. You probably already have a debit card. It's probably some kind of a savings account that's associated with that. But if we're going into more investments, I would say there's a couple of platforms you can use. Liam mentioned Robinhood. You have Robinhood, you have Webull. I believe Charles Schwab is a very strong one as well. But all you have to do is set those accounts up. You should be fulfilled your account verified within a couple of days. And then after that, you can start plugging money in from your checkings account, savings account into these portfolios or into these different apps to invest in. And then it's up to you. I think the most famous tickers, you can give some as well. Mine are SPY, QQQ. Those are all index funds. I don't know if you have any as well that you invest in. But it's like, don't overcomplicate this matter of investing. You can look up the highest performing global index funds, whether that be VTI, SPY. There's so many out there. That's up for you to decide. But again, those three platforms are very strong. Robinhood, Webull, Charles Schwab, and then just create an account, put in how much money you are comfortable saving, and then kind of forget about it. It's if you put in an amount that you can't forget about, maybe you put in a little too much. But again, remember, you have time to recoup losses if they happen. But at the end of the day, we're doing this to live a better life in the future.
Yeah, on that note, how do viewers, we understand this is for the long run, right? Like 30, 40, 50 years.
Right.
How do viewers even like contextualize that money's going to compound into something so much greater? Like, you've seen the chart of how compounding growth, it's at the end, right? The last, 10 years, right? Yeah. So like, can you like explain like,
and it's so crazy. I wish I could probably pull up a investing calculator and actually show you guys how much an investment we would recoup over time. But we have to remember, I don't want to be that guy that says save every penny, live as modest below your means as possible so you can reap the benefits when you're 70, 80 years old. Not saying that at all. Again, save as much or invest as much as you can while still living the lifestyle that you want to live. Now, if you're okay with living below your means and feeling like, okay, I want to make that investment for the long run, that's your decision. But if you're also a person like me, I like to eat, like to shop. Every once in a while, I might spend a little more now. We'll try and make more income. Maybe you can make it up like that. Obviously, that's all everything, exactly. Make more income. But I would say the art of compound interest, you can go to, I believe it's some type of investmentcalculator.com and really just put in however much you feel comfortable spending per month and just put in an average market return, 9-10%. And look at how much that number grows over 5-10 years. And that's with us having no money right now.
Yeah.
Wait till you have that 6-figure job you want or whatever money that may be. And now you're saving that much more. If you get into that habit now, once you have that money, it'll already be habitual for you. It'll be second nature.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. I want to get into the topic of like students who may be having other obligations, right? Like not everybody has the ability to invest. Do you think they should invest even with like $5, $10?
Yeah.
What do you think is the minimum amount they should have?
Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think it's a minimal amount. Like you invest $5, you're not going to get 100 off of that. Like there's just a bit of realism we have to have. But I would counter argue that and say, if you can get into the habit and the nature of no matter how much money it is, it doesn't have to be a big dollar amount. If it's just anything and you can save a percentage of that, it's like if you can't make money with $100, you can't make it with $1,000. It's the same kind of thought process there. So in terms of minimal amount, I think it varies for everyone. Yeah, like it was at a point in time I was in high school, I could only invest like $20. I thought it was nothing then, but now I may have $50 and it's a little bit more. It keeps growing over time. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's a minimal amount, but I think it's more of the behavior of, oh, I'm going to invest this when I get this amount. So I would kind of add that.
No, I completely agree. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. I don't think you need a set amount. I think you can invest $1 today and that would be something other than nothing.
It's just a habit. Like
exactly.
You get into that mental framework of this is what I do every time I get some money comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how do we spend money effectively, especially with a lot of like societal pressures?
Oh,
Right? Like, you gotta have the newest outfit, new clothes, trends, everything.
that's real. I think if we get real here, that's something that plagues our communities the most. I think I forgot what it was. If Black America was its own consumer, it would be one of the largest economies in the world. It was something crazy. And so I feel like there it comes down to your lifestyle again. We don't want to be those guys that's telling you like, save every penny you have, don't live the life that you want, because that's not fun. So to say, I feel like it's finding what balance is for yourself, figuring out how can I satisfy the lifestyle I still want to have while saving a percentage that, yes, may set me up for my future family, future house, future car, whatever it may be. What would you say your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, I'm not too persuaded about like social trends, just because like I live within like my own bubble most of the time. But I would say that just understanding that everything kind of fades in the end, right? Like,
That's so real.
if like the trends literally cycle, like fashion trends is literally a circle, right? And so like you're not gonna miss it if you don't buy like that new outfit. And then just understanding what impact that has, either like on an hour-to-hour basis, converting into time. So for example, you make $20 an hour, you buy that new outfit that's $80, that's 4 hours of your time, right? And so just trying to contextualize that.
But there's some people who like the new outfit. So like,
That's fair.
People who want to stay up to date with the trends, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I think it's also like we just said, balance.
Yeah.
I have no problem spending money on a new outfit,
Yeah.
but just have fun, but be responsible with your money. I think.
That's real. Yeah, I feel like it's so many different personalities. I wish we could have this whole table full of different personalities who maybe want the new outfit, who don't care, who maybe like someone like me who's in the middle. To your point, it's just like finding the balance. And
because we're not saying kill yourself. We're not saying like just kill yourself and save every single minute little penny on it, right? Like,
that's no fun. Nobody wants to do that. Like we're like they say, we're not here for a long time, we're for a good time. So it's like there's no point in trying to starve yourself for the lifestyle you want to live with the hopes of saving for a better future. But yeah, it's I guess the key word there would definitely have to be balance.
Yeah, especially since like there are 2 things you can do to grow your money. You can either like make more money or reduce your costs.
Talk about it.
No matter how much money you make, if your costs are always above it, you're broke. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, that's real.
And so just understanding that if you have expected income and you know you're going to make a little bit more, you can probably slightly raise your costs, but just keeping that balance, that threshold, because we could talk about how certain athletes go broke with like millions and millions of dollars of paychecks, right?
No, it's crazy.
Mansions and everything.
So many of them go broke now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, Liam, I want to ask you a question. We kind of talked about saving, investing, refund check, summer internship money. I kind of want to touch on credit cards a little bit. Personally, I don't have a credit card. I know you do. Can you give us the viewers kind of how you go through that, spending on it? What is the paying it back? Can you just walk us through that?
Yeah, the reason I decided to open a credit card is because the main source of my income is, one, it was through the internship, and then through it's like external scholarships. And so those come in increments. And so then therefore I don't exactly have the most amount of, I have cash, but I don't like to spend cash immediately, especially if I can pay it off within a month. So the way I do this, first time around, I didn't understand, the severity of a credit card. And so I'd maxed it out. And then I think it was late by like a month or something. So I accrued interest, which is what they love. But then after I paid it off, I kind of realized that the only time I should be using my credit card is on very small purchases. And so like those, like, your soda, like maybe like a meal or something like that. Because what happens is when you spend it on a large purchase, like $200-$300, your brain doesn't recognize it as real. Like you understand you're going to have to pay it off later, but your brain doesn't. And so just getting into the habit of like smaller purchases and then constantly keeping track of what your credit card is on, paying it off is so important, especially on time. Because what happens is your credit score, a lower credit score impacts the amount that you have to pay up front for a down payment on a house later in the future. And guys, that number is like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in difference. And so like your habits now establish how much you will spend in the future.
No, that's real. I think hopefully we can bring on a guest in the future that can talk more about credit cards specifically because it's such an important topic. But I remember it was President Obama who passed the act because back in the day, credit card companies were all around college campuses. They were just everywhere. They wanted to get kids just to open up credit cards with their they would spend whatever. To your point, you thought the money wasn't you thought it was real, but it really wasn't. So I think there was like a credit card act that was signed, but I don't have a credit card yet, and I'm still trying to figure out, to your point, your credit score. We want to build your credit, but we're gonna pause that conversation because we want somebody who is qualified specifically to talk more about that. Look, just us two talking about credit. It's a very important topic, so we'll definitely give you all a more prestigious and thorough guest when it comes to credit. But Liam, I want to talk about this next point because this is something I think you are better at than me. I want to talk about, we talked about we're having money, right? We have this discretionary money we have with us. We talked about making more income. What would you say about side hustles?
Yeah.
Side hustles, brainstorming ideas, creating businesses. I'm going to let you run with that.
Yeah. So like first year, I tried e-commerce on my own. It didn't work. But what I can do is bring in an example of my girlfriend. And so we've been dating since freshman year, and she has her own lip gloss line. And she creates all the products from scratch. She orders in supplies in bulk from China. And she handles everything from like the beginning of like the manufacturing process all the way up until the final sale and marketing, whatever. And she does these events at like Homecoming or other Spelman Market Fridays. And she makes a decent amount. And what I really learned is that like, it's tricky. Like, I don't think I'd have the courage to like spend that much upfront, but then not if I'm going to be able to sell my products. But she does every time. And so I think that having that side hustle is important, but just understand that one, you need to test your market. I realized that she did that early on because she started back in high school.
Okay.
And so like she knew that she could sell out. But if you're starting something new, like a clothing line or something that requires a large upfront investment, one, have people said they're going to buy it? You don't want to spend like $500 on clothes and like nobody's going to buy it, right? And then two, you want to make sure that things that you're buying, not only are they going to sell, but you're going to make a profit off of it. And so like the numbers get pretty tricky there. You want to be very specific about how much you're spending per unit. But like overall within like the entire like side hustle environment, I think it's a great way to bring in side hustle. Side income, like scholarships, probably one of the best ones. Like competitions, etc.
I think if scholarships isn't one of the biggest gems we could say today, like while you were in college, the amount of scholarships you have opportunity to, let alone at HBCUs, whoever may be listening, maybe PWI as well. I know they have scholarships tapping to alumni networks. I've heard countless stories of people who have walked out of college with 6 figures in the bank. Crazy. Wow. Solely off of just applying for scholarships like it's their full-time job. And there's so many out there for us to apply for. But I kind of want to add my 2 cents to what you said. Mm-hmm. I tried entrepreneurship as well. We can name everything. Drop shipping, e-commerce, courses, crypto, stock picking, options, I've done it all. Nothing has stuck for me yet. And I wanted to bring transparency because sometimes we feel like we can try all these things. It's like, okay, maybe entrepreneurship's not for me. I don't think that's the case. I feel like it's just continuing to circle through different things, giving it the proper time that it needs to see if it's going to succeed or fail or not. But I think we need to give ourselves the proper time to understand, like, just go through different things. Failure is going to happen. I mean, to be honest, I'm going to be real. I don't even know if I'd want this. I find what's going to make me rich right now.
Yeah.
You won't really have a story to tell later on if it's just easy.
I want to be honest. Do you think that if you stuck through one of these trades up until this year, you would have made money, profit?
That's a great question. I believe so.
Yeah, me too. I think that I just had too much other things going on. Like, for example, recruiting, right? Like actual on-campus living life, right? Yeah. Like money for me isn't the end goal. Like it's going to be a way to get to the end goal, whatever. But it's just not it, right?
Okay, but let's talk about it. You worried about the job, which is very important.
Sure.
I feel like maybe one of these lanes we're going down could be a home run out the park more than whatever job may be. How do you battle that?
Well, for sure. I had such an internal struggle. Like, so first year, didn't want to continue it, started recruiting, then did the internship last summer, and it was great. Now I'm recruiting again, but I think that's just tricky. I don't know if I want to say this on camera, but the thing is that like after I do get this offer, I do want to pursue entrepreneurship seriously because I kind of realized that, dude, there's so much there's so much like fog and clouds in the corporate world. And that's not a bad thing, but it does make you realize that you're so much capable. You're more capable of what you think you actually are. And so like, dude, I don't know about you, but like entrepreneurship, like just doing your own thing seems so much more free than actually like, and regardless, you probably have to work the same amount of hours. It doesn't matter to me, but you'd be more free.
Yeah.
You would.
No, that's real. Yeah, I like that. I like how we kind of touched on saving, investing, summer internship, refund, moved a little bit to more into entrepreneurship. I kind of want to summarize this all into kind of some key takeaways. I would definitely say, I'll add one, and then Liam, feel free to add one as well. Start small, but start now. Whatever amount that you may have. Again, the brokerage's accounts to invest, Webull, Robinhood, Charles Schwab. You can add more, do your own research. I highly encourage you to do your own research and figure out what suits best for you. But again, start small, whatever the amount may be, 20, 50, 100. That builds up over time. When you have your 6-figure job, have your 5-figure job, when you were investing the same percentage of how much you made anyways, that number keeps getting bigger over time. So again, my 2 cents would be start small, but start now.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then I think my largest takeaway from this is find your different sources of income. I think scholarships are just going to be so important. I know I have 2 pending checks, actually pretty large, just because they're scholarships. I mean, like, come on.
So, hey,
they're not only in bulk, but like,
come on, bro.
Sheesh, it's insane. But yeah, no, scholarships. And then if you want to start that side hustle, recognize the time investment you're going to make, whether it's worth the sacrifice, but then go all in. Like, don't be wishy-washy. Don't be 50-50 on it. And then the very last thing, just like Charles said, start yesterday. Like, you should have already started.
Start yesterday. I can't do
but you're
that,
not too late.
Start yesterday. You know what?
Right?
Forget it.
Just $1. Like, literally take 10 minutes, because I promise you it does not take a long time. Take 10 minutes, apply for an investment account. You'll need to get approved. And then after that, just invest in the basic S&P 500 and then just take it from there.
Yeah. No,
baby steps.
That's real. Baby steps. That's all that matters. Well, to close this video out, I would love for you all to kind of interact with us in the comment section below. Leave how you spent your summer check, or if you were to save $100, where would you put it now? We would love to hear interactions below. We'll definitely make sure to respond to emails. But with that being said, if you learned something, share this with one person. Share this with a classmate who's been asking you, maybe, what do I really do with that extra money that I have? But with that being said, from Liam and I, we appreciate y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.